sometimes a little playtime can clear the mind when it comes to making a decision. So, Don and Christopher have some fun with their 3 pet ferrets before making their decision on who can make the most out of their desolate backyard. Could it be Mark Brightwell and his large open patio? Or do they envision taking a stroll through Donnie Garitano and Pete Battisti's garden path? Or maybe they'd prefer hanging out in Franco Valpone's sunken seating areas.
While all 3 of the designers really listened to what we said about what we wanted, one of them listened to what we didn't say.
He paid more attention to our lifestyle and made sure that we could live in the yard.
And that was Mark from Moonsun Landscaping.
I'm very excited that Don and Chris chose me to put in their landscape. I can't wait to show them the finished product.
First comes the delivery of a lot of raw material. And while the crew is busy prepping the yard, Mark takes Don and Christopher to consider some of the finer details in his design.
Come on in, guys. This is a great place for us to look for pots, wall art, fountains, things like that, so that you can personalize your landscape.
Great.
Good. This is kind of what I had in mind, even though yours is going to be a custom fountain. I pictured a big arch kind of as a frame with some colored tiles. And of course, you know, you had talked about the lion's head that you wanted to put on there.
Right.
And it would have a basin down at the bottom to catch. So this is a good example of what we plan on doing in your yard.
So what color tile are you thinking about for the background?
I was really thinking of a really strong color, something that will draw a lot of attention to it, so that it'll be the focal point of the yard.
Okay.
Wall art is another great way to personalize a yard.
Yeah, I don't like any of these fish at all. Those are horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like these, what are these?
Dancing,
yeah,
Aboriginal.
I think that looks like y'all a lot.
Yeah, those are cool.
I like that.
Picking out pots can be tough with so much variety, but Mark helps to narrow it down.
We're looking for those 8 pots that are going to be on either side of the fountain, and the other 6 that are going to be forming that transition area. We want those to be a little bit more on the architectural side. I'd like to see them all the same. So that's what I think we should start with.
Some of the stuff that I really don't want to see is anything that's too drippy.
Okay.
Like these guys here, I don't like that look at all.
Okay, guys, we also want to start looking at color. And if you notice, this has a nice green color to it, and there's some other types of color. Would you like to bring a little color into the yard?
I like this color. I don't really like this pattern. I'm okay with a pot that has some texture to it, but not so formal and fussy, I guess.
Yeah, it tends to bring out a certain style, so if you want to keep it a little bit more plain, I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah. I like this one here.
You know what? I think this is a great shape also. This has the height that we're looking for. I'm not sure about the color, because again, that needs to reflect your taste. But it really has the open mouth, the height we're looking for to put on those pedestals. What do you think?
I think up against that dark, color you're talking about for the wall, that this will maybe stand out a little bit.
Pop out a little bit more. And that's what we
yeah.
want it to do. We want it to be part of the focal point of your yard.
Yeah, I do like it.
Okay, good. We'll keep that one in mind then when we're going through.
They pick these 2 colorful pots just for fun.
And when you talk really close,
You get a good echo.
boom.
It's a good thing they're in a good mood, because back at the house, there's a lot of new holes in the yard. Some of the important digging is taking longer than they thought.
The ground here is very, very hard. You actually have to use a jackhammer or a pickaxe to do it.
See how it turns out next on Landscaper's Challenge. It's hard to imagine any kind of garden in this dry desert landscape, but Don and Christopher have rolled the dice and put their faith in designer Mark Brightwell, who promised to pull it off.
We wondered if they were ever going to be able to plant anything that lived. But, they bring in soil and whatever else it is they do, and it works out.
Don and Christopher have a true desert oasis full of life, color, and shade. Mark's here today to take a final look.
One of the main problems that we had is you had an existing surface right here that needed to be tied to the rest of the yard.
Right.
So one of the things that we did is we stained this and we carried it out through the yard, adding a lot of color adding a large space out here where you could entertain maybe 30 to 40 people.
Yeah, I really like the scoring that you did. It adds some detail, and it doesn't just look like these big sections of concrete. It really makes it look a little bit more mosaic-like, and it's a great effect.
Woolly thyme will soon fill in to add bands of green.
It's a great view from inside the front door as soon as you walk in. It's incredible to see that fountain and that red wall.
Yeah, that fountain with the very colorful tile on there really draws your attention to it, and the trees on either side adds another additional frame so that everybody's eye is really carrying towards that focal point.
Yeah, it's a great area. We love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Covering Don and Christopher's white lattice are a custom iron trellis and a honeysuckle vine that Mark decided to add to his design.
I actually understood the concept that you were trying to get. It's just the execution of it needed a little bit more touch to it.
We needed some help.
Exactly. This transitional area, this is the area that you wanted people to be able to walk around, transition into the pool area, but yet separate it off. So for that design element, we actually did this barbecue over here. Great place for people to gather around. You can cook, serve them on this barbecue. And then let's say that you're having more of an evening party or something like that where you wanted to have a little bit more formal setting. We can basically remove the barbecue. This is a great place for a bartender to basically store all his liquor, bottles, glasses, whatever you wanted to store there. We had a cooler set in there so that you could put ice and drinks.
It really blew us away. I mean, we didn't think we'd ever really use this. We thought it would just be walking through, but this is great. I mean, this is a place where we can, come spend a weekend afternoon and just hang out, and it's wonderful.
The pots that Don and Christopher picked out have a great visual effect, leading the eye to the pool area.
I like the gateway that you've done here with putting pots on either side, too. It makes it feel like an entrance.
Yeah, this is an entrance basically to another type of area. We put in a lot of flagstone, we gave it a more masculine feel, added a lot of plant material with color.
And the path winds around, down to a new secluded outdoor room.
This is a really, really great little space.
Yeah, and with the elevation change that we have, it really encloses the space where it really makes it feel like a little room.
This is really going to be spectacular at nighttime, too, because how well lit it is over here. This is going to be a real comfortable living room for us.
I agree.
Definitely.
Windmill palms add shade and privacy, and just around the corner is another staircase up to the pool. An elevated planter adds interest to the back of the pool with tall Italian cypress and colorful flowers like gold and purple lantana.
I think anything would have been better than what we had, but we were just so blown away by the detail, and you really paid a lot of attention, I think, to how we live and how we're going to use this space. Yeah, it's great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks.
Y'all made it easy for me.
Mark Brightwell has given Don and Christopher a place to entertain that's as spectacular as a Las Vegas resort. Thanks for joining us on Landscapers Challenge. We'll see you next time when we put 3 more landscape designers to the test.
The pool and the block wall and the landscaping, it's finally done. We're not going to have subcontractors in here every other day.
Yeah, it'd be nice to not have dust coming inside the house every single time I open the door.
People working at 6 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, I'm tired of being woken up by that.